So there's a scheme in Liverpool I want to talk a little bit about. This was on an ITV news report, and it's an interesting look at what direction this country may go in more broadly in terms of waste management. So I'm going to just read out the report from ITV. I'll put a link, and there is a video in that, so hopefully it will come up. I don't know how long those archival videos stay, incidentally, if it's just short term or what. But anyway, super bins could soon be coming to a street near you. The huge communal bins store large amounts of waste underground. The biggest can take a week's worth of rubbish from 20 homes. That's a significant amount. And after a successful trial in residential areas of Liverpool, they could be rolled out into other areas. It comes after a successful trial implemented by Liverpool City Council aimed at cleaning up communities, tackling illegal dumping and vermin problems. The scheme, which costs around 1.5 million, has been designed to provide a cleaner waste solution for 27,000 terrace households in the city. Each bin is made from steel and reinforced plastic and will sound an alarm when full, so it can then be emptied via a release at its base. It's thought the whole process to empty the bins would take less than 10 minutes. Work is currently underway to install them at 11 other sites in Liverpool, with other city councils keen to follow suit. Right. Well, they look quite they look very futuristic, and certainly they look more impressive than um grimy old council bins. They're kind of these. They actually, on first glance, they look almost like tombstones, like modern, very modern looking tombstones. They're kind of these blocks in the ground you'll see in the image. By the way, the report doesn't name the reporter there, but in the actual video, he interviewed some people, the reporter interviewed some people, and residents seemed to be happy with it. There was a guy from London saying that he thinks it should follow suit in London. That's why Liverpool Council is pushing ahead because it's proven to be popular. Um, I can see some advantages, and with something like this, I always try to be open minded and see the pros and cons. The advantages, well, obviously, it will get rid of the vermin problem because if you don't have open waste, you're not going to get rats sort of trying to get at rubbish bins. If you have overflowing bins, different councils have different sort of response rates. Sunderland's quite good, I have to say, overall. I've never had major problems in terms of the response. I know some people in other parts of the country complain that bins are not collected. Here, my own experience has been okay, but although sometimes they just throw the bins back in any old way so you have to sometimes find yours 20 meters away. But we've had a few problems here with arson. Yobs going past and just setting bins on fire. And it used to be that the householder would actually be, the cost would be put on the householder, which was really absurd. But in the last council election, local Labour council said they would change that. Anyway, yeah, so getting rid of vermin, getting rid of the smell, and reducing the chance of arson, that's all good. Now, the most glaring issue for me with this is convenience. So, from what it appears, the site is just next to the row of terrace houses, so it's relatively convenient. But not all neighborhoods are going to be terrace houses, not all neighborhoods are going to have the sort of structure planning for such a site to be placed conveniently for residents. And I think the obvious question is, you get a lot of people like myself who can't drive, people who may be disabled, people who are older and therefore may be more flexible. I don't want to just say all older people are that way, but it's more likely. So if you have this situation where people are expected to bring the waste to the site, the obvious follow up is how close is the site to houses? It would need to be very close. Otherwise, it's really not convenient. And I think the reason it's worked in this particular area is because it seemed to be placed just next to the terrace houses. But like I say, I mean, where I live, I'm trying to think where they would install it around here. There's nowhere I can think of that would be close by, that would be there's a park nearby, but that's still a good 100, 200 meters to walk, and that just isn't practical to expect people to haul their rubbish bags 100 meters, or it could be up to a mile in some cases. So, If you live in Liverpool, I'd particularly like to hear from you. What do you think of this scheme? Have you used it? Is that indeed your area? What do you think of it? I'm not totally dismissing it, but I just see inherent problems if this is done nationwide. It might be practical in some areas. In terms of is it good value for money? Well, if it's popular and if it's reducing those problems, then yes. But 1.5 million is 1.5 million. So there's another question. Bin men, bin workers, will their jobs be threatened? You know, council workers who are involved in waste collection, what will happen to their jobs? So there's all those sort of issues. But I imagine it's some sort of computer operated system. Well, what if that breaks down? There's all these questions. So I don't want to be too negative. It looks good. I mean, it looks clean and modern. Um, and it's obviously popular in that particular neighborhood. But I'm just wondering how this can be implemented nationwide. I'm not sure that it can without, in a convenient way, because not every residence, not every neighborhood is terraced housing. Where I live, for example, it's a private street, so we literally have to drag our rubbish a long way to get to such a site. And I'm thinking, like I say, around here, I'm not sure where it can be installed. But if practical solutions were raised to, for example, address those issues, then maybe it's a good thing. Let me know your thoughts.